What's up, guys? Dwayne Richens, door-to-door realtor. I've got some fun stuff we're going to go over today. I've had a neat experience to get my daughter home from serving a church mission. She's been out working and talking to people about the gospel for the last 2 years. And so it's fun to see those changes she's made as she's gone door to door to sell the hardest thing ever. And now she dove off to become a door-to-door salesperson. She wanted to make a bunch of money before she started college. And so I had some friends over and they said how they were out selling internet door-to-door and how they've done well at it. And so we immediately dove in and said, Madeline, would you dare try something like this? And she's like, yeah, I would try it. And I was like, but if you're going to try it, you got to go crush it, right? And she's the type of personality that when she goes and does something, she wants to be the very, very best at it. And so we're going to bring her on here live as she's linking in, and we're going to walk through what she thinks and how she overcame the mindset and what she did and how things, and please comment, what you think or questions you might have for her. But the mindset really is what took off for her and helped her to make a ton of money. And so we're going to walk through a lot of those things, but reality, the key factor is I don't care how much you sold. I don't care if you've done door to door. There is no better way for you to make as much money in the world, regardless of the economy, just by going door to door and getting in front of people's faces. So in this scenario, hold on a minute, she's calling me. Hey, I'm live waiting for you. Where are you? Yeah, get in. I don't care. Hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm nervous, but I'm willing to try anything. And Madeline's a fun type of girl. She's like, I'll try anything to go out and be competitive. She's crazy competitive. And so we talk her into going and selling for this first week. Mal, walk us through your feelings when you finally committed to go out and do door-to-door sales for the first time to go make some money.
I was pretty excited, but also nervous because I didn't know how I was going to perform. I didn't know how the people were going to be, how they were going to respond, if they would notice that I was new. So I was a little bit nervous about that.
So what did you do to prep?
So prepping, I did role playing with you a lot that whole Saturday before I left. Just because I didn't want to have any of those mess ups on the door, which I still did have, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, just because of practice and all that kind of stuff. It made me feel a lot better.
Okay, so she's driving out to a cabin, 3.5 hour drive. She's recording herself. She's sending me these pictures saying, Dad, how did that go? What'd you think of this one? And then it came time. The next day she flies out to Chicago, gets dumped in a car, driven to an area, and she knocks with her manager the first day. What was your thought when you went out with your manager? And tell us kind of your experience there.
It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I feel like I wasn't as trained as I felt like I was going to be. So like the knowledge that I gained with you beforehand helped me a ton because that's exactly what I used, my pitch, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really follow anything else that happened that first day. I was on my own for a little bit. And when I was on my own, I felt like I did so much better because I didn't have that extra pressure on me or to follow a different pitch than what I've already practiced.
Love it. So guys, she dives out with her manager. How many do managers sell on average?
My manager on average sold 4
deals a day. So what was your goals? You went out there. How many did you want to sell knowing that? And how many did you want to hit per day? What was your main goal?
So my first day, I set the goal of making 5 sales.
What?
And then I wanted to go from there. So
you guys, check this out. First day ever on doors, knocking and selling a product she's never sold. I had never sold this product. We created a pitch. And not only does she want to go out there and sell it, she wants to beat her manager who's done this, trained it, and all of the facts. So how did you do your first day?
I got 4 my first day. So I was super happy with that. Just missed it by 1, but I knew the next day I was going to go and get after it and make sure I got 5.
Guys, isn't that nuts? Her first day, she goes out and ties the average of the managers. What was your mindset? What were you thinking when you got out on doors? and how did it go?
I was just thinking I want to do my best and give it my all. So no matter what the outcome was, that I was going to keep giving it my best every single day of the trip and hope for the best too. As long as you put in the work, you can always find the success.
Love it. So you nailed for your first day. What happened day 2?
Day 2, I sold 6.
6?
Yeah.
And day 3?
Day 3 was my big day. I sold 10.
Guys, look at this. She goes 4, 6, 10. What was your mindset thinking at this point?
Nobody can take over. That I'm going to be in charge of what I get, and my success is determined by me and what I do. So as long as I'm putting in the work, knocking off those doors, and finding that next person that's ready to buy fiber, then I'm in.
Guys, I'm sitting here back at home going, holy crap, she is killing it. She's blowing away her manager. She's in the top 2 of the office. And it's so awesome to watch her go out and just throttle sales door to door. I was like, this is my girl. This is my girl. And so as she continues forward, she runs into a bump. I want you to tell them about what happened and what happened with your mindset as soon as you ran into a hard day.
Yeah, so the next week, I got put into an area where there was actually another fiber company that just installed like everybody I knocked. So it was a really rough day. I got so many no's. I know I knocked over 120 doors that day, just hoping for the next one to be a yes. And luckily I did sell 2 that day, so I felt okay, but that was lower than my first day. Can you imagine how defeating that would be? Because I wanted to always get higher than when I sold my first day, because my first day was obviously supposed to be my worst. But just keeping going at it, keeping going on to the next door helped me. And in the end of the night, I actually almost got my 3rd sale. There was a couple complications why it wouldn't go through. But I just realized like, oh, it doesn't matter how many no's you get until you get the yes.
So awesome. So there you were struggling. I remember getting the phone calls. And I was actually happy that she's getting these phone calls because like she's making too much money. She's selling too many deals, too easy without any complications. So this is good. And I remember telling her, it's like, you got to be mentally strong with all the no's, even though it's a hard neighborhood, even though, you can't get past what you're getting with, you got to look positive. You got to stay positive. You got to find those yeses. And so at the end of the day, I was jacked that she sold and she didn't give up. What was your thoughts going into the next day after Mr. Hard Day?
It was pretty doubting, honestly. I sat in the car with my manager and I was like, okay, what the heck am I doing wrong? Because clearly I'm doing something wrong. He's like, honestly, you're not. What you need to do is just keep going at it. And at that point, I remembered that I have prepared for this, and everybody has hard days, and those hard days help you have even better days because you learn the most on those days. And you don't let objectives take the sale from you. You got to take the objective and find the solution.
So what do you feel like you learned from those really hard days that you helped convert into massive days going forward?
I feel like I learned that it's all about your attitude, like you said, that you have to just keep being positive, because I know for sure on that first Monday that people could tell that I was a little bit down. I tried to keep the positivity, but it just was not going for me. So I learned that a ton, that you have to just keep the positive attitude, because in your first sentence, if you're not positive or you're having a bad day, they're going to tell. And nobody wants to buy from somebody who's upset or ornery. They want to buy from a positive atmosphere. So I learned that, and I also learned that it's all about your mindset. If you keep going and keep pushing, even through those hard days, you're going to have even bigger days after that.
Love it. Love it. You guys have heard me say this a million times. Sales is a transfer of energy. And so you have to transfer that energy on the door. If you don't have any to transfer, guess what? You're not making the sale. And she just said that in her own words. But guys, what's really cool is that very next week, you dive in. And what was your goal on the trip? How many did you want to sell?
I wanted to sell 73, which was one up of what the best trip I had heard of was.
I love it. I love it. So her first 10 days, she wants to go out and beat the best she's ever heard of. This is the competitive nature that Madeline has. Junior, you watching this? Junior's online with us. Bottom line is, you have to go out and say, I'm going to compete. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to win. And so you're pushing hard, right? You're pushing hard to beat this best week. How did the next week go for you?
It went really well. I ended up finishing my last day in the area with a new PR. And a couple of days after those hard days, I also got 8 sales in a day. So just keeping pushing forward helped me a ton.
So you got 8 sales in a day, and you said PR, which is, for you guys that don't know that, personal record. What was your personal record? What was the number you sold in one day on that last day?
11.
11. Now, guys, I have to take you back a step further. This is Saturday. She flies out. She leaves the area at 3 o'clock. She doesn't get on doors until 10 o'clock. So count the math. If you do the math on that, it's only 5 hours. What was your mindset knowing you had 5 hours and you had a bunch of ground to cover so that you could take down that new record?
My mindset was keep my pitch the same on every single door and find their problems, and also hit every single door that I can. So that means knock the door and then not completely run, because you don't want people to look at you and think you're an idiot, but walk fast to the next door so you don't waste that time. I knew I only had 5 hours, so I was on the clock. I had to hurry and get to every single person, and as soon as I was done setting them up, say thanks so much, show them my appreciation, and get to the next door.
Okay, so were you pretty aggressive about how fast you were going to walk, how many people you were going to talk to, how fast you closed them?
Yes, super aggressive.
Mindset. When you knocked on the door, did you know you were getting a deal?
Yeah. On a lot of them, as soon as I had finished saying the first sentence and saw their response, I knew if I was going to get the sale or not. And if I knew that they weren't going to close, I'd keep trying a little bit harder. And if they decided that wasn't something for them, I'd say, okay, I'll stop back by later.
So in 5 hours, folks, 5 hours, she threw down 11 deals. So how did you end on the week? How many deals did you hit? And did you beat that record?
So I ended with 65. I did not beat the record, but there's always another trip, so I can't beat that record. And I did get the Rookie of the Year, so that was pretty sweet.
So she sold more deals as a rookie than anyone's ever sold for this company in one trip, which is a huge accolade. And here she is beating herself up saying, I wanted to beat everybody my first trip ever and be the highest number. So 65, that is an insane number. There's a lot of door-to-door people out here that struggle, that get out, they fail, they don't do as well. I hear all the time that women don't do well at doors. They can't succeed at doors. What advice would you give? Number one, first of all, if you're a woman and knocking doors, and then two, what advice would you give to someone that may feel like door-to-door is not for them?
I think for women knocking doors, we can do just as much as the guys can do. I think we're just as strong and just as competitive, so I don't think we have any downplay there. I think if you want to do it, you can go get it. It's all just about your determination to go get it done. And for people knocking doors, I think everybody has several hard days. Just think of it as a new clean slate every single day. It doesn't matter how bad your day was yesterday, because you get to determine what happens the next day. Or when you wake up in the morning, you get to determine how you finish that day. So just do your best to finish every day strong, knowing you gave it your all, and you'll find the success always.
Do you feel like you could sell anything door to door?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you think that?
I think it's because if you have a good pitch, you have someone to help you see your mistakes and grow, then it doesn't matter what you sell, because you know how to be personal with people and you know how to get the sale on whatever it is.
Guys, you heard it right here. This is a 20-year-old girl, went out for her first trip, made $15K. I'm telling you, you can make a lot of money door to door if you just have the mindset and are willing to go do it. Thanks for watching today, guys. Have a great week.